Hey, welcome back everyone. It is now March 19th of 2022, and ever since the very end of The Bad Batch Season 2, and even, of course, the Book of Boba Fett, a lot of Star Wars fans around the world have been very much intrigued about the future of the franchise by George, John, and Dave, and exactly what they have in store for the new Star Wars universe. This is Mike Zero. Make sure to subscribe if you're new to the channel for future Star Wars updates. Also, by the way, guys, I am on Twitter at Mike01 if you guys want to go ahead and give me a follow on there. I do make sure to post a couple of entertaining things from time to time and really interact with you guys further. So it's even all the more exciting right now is that we have a lot of things happening at the same exact time between George, John, and Dave. They're working on many different TV shows, between live action material, animated material that's going to make its way to Disney Plus in the next couple of years. So given that we have a lot of things happening behind the scenes, we also have Disney CEO Bob Chapek, who's making a lot of calls on exactly how the roadmap of the franchise is going to be handled, and exactly how the fans are going to react to all of this. They want to make sure that it's going to be a very positive, series of feedback that's going to be placed within the Kenobi series, for example, the Ahsoka Tano show, Mando Season 3, and a lot more to come throughout the next couple of years. So far, the only project that's been having a lot of trouble that John and Dave were involved in is, of course, the Bad Batch Season 2. There's some production issues, hence why we have yet to have gotten a release date on that. It was supposed to come out this spring. Doesn't look likely at this point, sadly, so we're gonna have to, wait out and see exactly what happens with that show. But for the time being, we have the Kenobi show and Andor this year, as well as Mando Season 3. So on top of all of this, alright, what's even all the more intriguing is exactly what Disney and Lucasfilm have planned for the future of the Star Wars universe, specifically when it comes to essentially resetting or restarting the concept of the entire franchise, essentially when it comes down to what George, John, and Dave have planned. Now, on top of all of that, with both Disney and Lucasfilm now focused on their new Star Wars projects, creators Jon Favreau and Dave Filoni are beginning to work on several TV shows that have yet to be announced that will be at Celebration. Now, it's described, however, that recently they have been making many changes behind the scenes to the Star Wars universe. It's described that recently Disney CEO Bob Chapek recently greenlit the Young Luke Skywalker TV series for the Star Wars franchise that both Jon Favreau, Dave Filoni, and other creators will be involved with, that is set to essentially reset the Star Wars universe when it comes to the Skywalker legacy. Now, the two big major changes that will make their way into the Luke series is said to involve Mara Jade becoming the wife of Luke Skywalker in the new universe, as well as the addition of Luke Skywalker's son that will be a part of the new Disney canon in the next couple of years. This is said to be a plan by Bob, John, Dave, and George in order to reset the history of the franchise and the intended lore previously by Disney when the sequel trilogy was being made. The Young Luke Skywalker TV show is described to have a direct link with the Ahsoka Tano TV series that will involve the world between worlds. Now, let me just stop right there for 1 second. Now, when we say the Young Luke series, obviously this has nothing to do with Luke during A New Hope or anything around those lines. This is, of course, post-Return of the Jedi era stuff. Now, when you look at everything related to that, this is all going to be a direct link to the Ahsoka Tano TV series. Basically, the Ahsoka series is going to feature the world between worlds. That specific realm is going to be used to pretty much, spawn a series of new Star Wars TV shows. And that has a lot to do with the fact that the Ahsoka series is going to change Star Wars history as we know it. A lot of different aspects of the originals, prequels, and sequels will be shifted around and changed in a positive sense, and they want to make sure that it's going to make a lot of sense to the overall fandom, just as they are doing with the Kenobi TV series, and how that in and of itself basically is changing history and kind of adding new meaning to the famous Darth Vader line in A New Hope. So beyond all of this, alright, everything ranging from Chapek making the call about this and greenlighting the series and making sure that Star Wars Jedi Knight is going to have a major connection to the Ahsoka Tano TV series, it really does kind of open up your eyes and realize exactly what they're trying to do here. Moving on. So, of course, on top of that, where new changes will be made for Luke Skywalker's path that will lead to the Luke series that is currently codenamed Star Wars Jedi Knight. Jedi Knight is described to not only bring in tons of Star Wars Legends material, but to also be used as a way to change the history of the franchise by Jon and Dave Filoni. They are planning to drop the series on Disney Plus sometime in 2024 or 2025, depending on the production of the show, and that they are now planning to officially announce that at next year's Celebration event. Now, in addition to this, Luke Skywalker is set to get recast in the series where they have all eyes on Sebastian Stan, and don't plan on using a CG version of Luke for a whole show, as that would cost way too much revenue for Disney. Bob Chapek is the one who actually was eager to greenlight this series for the longest time now, as it was in the early talks now, and it has been for a very long time, and it is now being made into a reality, and will be a product of what happens in the Ahsoka Tano series within the World Between Worlds. Specifically, that realm is set to provide many changes to key characters and their decisions in the Star Wars universe and the actions that they make. Creator George Lucas is described to be heavily involved with the process of all of these new shows and how they will be implemented into the Star Wars roadmap. A major scene from the World Between Worlds in the Ahsoka Tano show is set to be filmed by this June that will feature many beloved characters from the prequels, sequels, and yes, even the original trilogy movies, and how some of their paths and adventures will be even, of course, slightly altered or changed in a drastic way to change the structure of Star Wars as a whole. So, one thing that I think a lot of fans absolutely need to be aware of when it comes to Star Wars Jedi Knight and everything ranging from the Ahsoka Tano TV series and how that's going to change a lot of history of Star Wars and essentially resetting the franchise, a lot of which is going to have to do with the sequel trilogy movies and exactly what's going to be changed when it comes to the Disney canon lore in that show. So the fact that we have George Lucas heavily involved with this goes ahead and shows you that, you know, himself and Dave Filoni will be working on the World Between Worlds aspect a lot. They want to make sure that the live-action adaptation of this realm or this, you know, famous, you know, part of Star Wars is going to be done correctly. After all, a lot of fans loved that episode from Star Wars Rebels and really are very much, you know, interested and curious to see exactly if it's going to match up against that in its live-action form. You know, they really have to make sure that they treat this very carefully. They don't make, you know, specific bad changes to the Star Wars universe, but when you look at everything related to what has happened under Kathleen Kennedy's control with the sequel trilogy movies, this is basically Jon and Dave's way, as well as Disney CEO Bob Chapek's way of creating their own legacy and essentially, you know, making it even easier for the fans to forget about the sequel trilogy. For those that do not like those movies, a lot of the lore in that is going to be shifted and changed around. And the same exact thing goes as follows for some of the prequels and some of the originals when it comes to lore in those movies. However, changes in those films are going to be more on a minor scale, where the sequels are going to be more on a major scale. And that really kind of, you know, interconnects with everything and why Luke is going to become who he becomes in the new, of course, Star Wars TV shows and his new appearances in other Star Wars projects as well. So, Jedi Knight, like I say, they're planning to drop that in 24 or 25. It's still a ways out. They're not even planning on unveiling this or teasing this until Celebration of 2023 because they want to build the character first in Mando Season 3 and 4, as well as the Ahsoka Tano TV series, to really get things rolling. And again, the Ahsoka series will interconnect with all of that. So overall, guys, you know, let me know what you think about all of this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel. I thank you all so very much for the kind support, and I'll catch you guys next time.
Night to moon, we hear them moans again.